5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
How to keep your husband or long-term boyfriend chasing you.
Woke up this morning and I was feeling so good, feeling so good. Made a change for the better thing. Never knew I would. Got a smile on my face. Can they see me now?
Hey beauty, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Coach Michaela Logue, and I am so inspired by the whole relationship thing that I figured I would make another how-to video on how to have your husband chase you around like a little schoolboy, even if you've been married 1 year, 10 years, 20 years, or 30 years. And I know these tips and tricks to be true because I am married 6 years, and this is my second marriage. And the first marriage, I didn't do so well, and I did a lot of things wrong, and I know now what I would have done differently. And so now I get to experiment on my husband now, almost kind of guinea pig style. I get to give him the best of me because I know what I did wrong the first time. And so I figured, since I was already thinking about this topic, why not give you the steps that I use for myself in my marriage that are tried and true and really work. So if this is of interest to you, keep on watching. Don't forget, if you like this sort of thing, please consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell so that you do not miss any episodes. And as we go through the video, if you're liking what you're hearing and you have something that you want to say, please go ahead and go into the comment section below so that we can interact, and hit that like button so that I know to make more videos just like this one. All right, let's go ahead and get to the first step. Step 1 to how to have your husband and or long-term relationship chase you is, drum roll please, give him good sex. Now, I know that some of you are going to be like, really? We've been together 30 years. What are you talking about? Or we've been together 5 years and we have small children and there is no good sex happening anytime soon. I'm going to give you some advice from one girlfriend to another. The most important thing to your man, aside from eating, sleeping, and maybe some extracurricular activities like sports, is sex. That's a huge component of who they are. They need to have sex, and they need to have sex on a consistent basis. Now, I know that sometimes our hormones fluctuate, we're feeling bloated, maybe we're feeling a little bit Shrek-like, you know, you have a pimple, you're not feeling good, or you're not feeling sexy at all. Maybe you're in that part of your cycle where you're literally wanting to be in sweatpants on the couch, eating a pint of Haagen-Dazs and watching The Notebook. I get it, I've been there, and I actually still have those moments as well. But something that I find that didn't work for me in my first marriage and is working for me now is that now I put intention towards what activities we're doing in the bedroom. Maybe it can be comprised of you getting a mani-pedi, shaving your legs, shaving your armpits, putting lotion all over your body, and making out with your man for a little while so that you can both get turned on. Maybe it's something as simple as wearing something nice to bed, like a little silk nightie or a little, like a silk teddy. Teddies are the ones that have the little tank top and the little shorts. Or maybe you can just do full-on lingerie if that's something that you feel comfortable doing. Now, one of the rules of thumb that I usually do for myself, and what I suggest to people that ask me, or whoever's asking me advice, or if my clients ask me for coaching around this, I tell them that when I'm feeling good about me and when I'm taking care of myself, when I'm eating right, when I'm sleeping well, when I'm eating clean, when I'm not exhausted, when I'm not stressed out, I tend to kind of be more sexual because I feel good all the way around in my own skin. And so one of the things that I'm going to suggest to you is think about some things you can do to have you feel good in your own skin so that you can then transfer that good energy over to your husband, because I'll tell you right now, your husband slash boyfriend slash fiance or your long-term relationship, whoever they are, they want to have sex with you, and they want to have sex with you as often as possible. And if you give them more no's than yeses, they don't have anything to hunt for anymore. When you take away your husband's hunt, you take away his core ability on this planet. That is what men are wired to do. They're wired to chase and wired to hunt. And when we get accustomed to being in a long-term relationship, maybe we let our guard down a little bit. Maybe we let the hair grow on our legs a little bit longer than we should. Maybe we wait to get manicures and pedicures, etc. But sometimes when you feel good about you, no, not sometimes, excuse me, mostly 99% of the time when you take care of yourself, you get your hair done, you get your eyebrows waxed, you get your nails did, everything is in check. And then maybe you go out to a dinner or go out to a movie with hubby, you're going to feel more inspired to be romantic with your husband than you would have normally. Now, people are going to say, you may be even saying this, what do you mean by good sex? I asked my husband about this, and he actually gave me feedback on what he thinks good sex is. And one of the things that he said, the first thing that he said was, you're excited about it. You're passionate about it. So good sex, believe it or not, to them is when we're super into it. When we are literally going all out. When we are pulling out all the stops. So good sex to them means passion. You're really interested. You really want him. You show him that you want him. And that you're putting effort into your outfit maybe. Or you're putting effort into having your hair done or your nails a certain way. Good sex also entails variety. Mix things up, do different things. Don't always do the same position. Don't always do missionary. Maybe he likes to do doggy style. Maybe he likes to do sideways cowgirl. Maybe you like to do cowgirl on top. Mix things up. Good sex is not just you go in there and you go, ooh, 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 you have an orgasm and you're done. Good sex is comprised of a lot of different things like variety, interest, passion, fire, connection. When you guys are looking at each other across a table as you're cutting your steak or drinking that beautiful red wine, you're looking into his eyes, you're connecting with him, you're listening to him. You are providing him with what a hungry or thirsty girl who's looking to steal somebody's husband, you're providing him with what she is looking to provide him. Don't let a thirsty biatch roll up on your husband and give him the things that you haven't been giving him for a long time. So, and good sex is one of them. Let's go ahead and go on to the next step. All right, step number 2 to keep your man chasing you. Girl, this one is the end all be all, the gold standard of all of these steps. Keep yourself looking good. Girl, don't let yourself go. This is the problem that we women, or a lot of people in relationships, have when they get settled into a relationship. They let themselves go. If you do nothing else, please, 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 don't let yourself go. Look, we all gain a couple of pounds here and there, you know, 10 pounds up, 15 pounds up, 20 pounds up. Maybe you had a baby, maybe you have 3 kids, maybe you have 5 kids, maybe you have 1 kid. Doesn't matter. Don't let yourself go so much that you have tons of work to get back to who you originally were when you first met. Remember, he signed on to and for the girl he first met. And even though they may not say it to you, and even though they've let themselves go, okay? I'm not excluding guys from this because many guys let themselves go as well. But your job is to keep yourself looking good, not for him, for you. When you keep yourself looking good for you, maybe you're eating right, maybe you're drinking a lot of water, maybe you're staying away from junk food, maybe you're no longer binging at night while you're in front of Netflix. Whatever it is, maybe you're going to the gym every day or a couple of times a week. Maybe you decided to take spin class. Maybe you decided to take Pilates. Whatever it is, when you make deposits, self-care, fitness, and nutrition deposits into yourself, you have no other choice. Your body has no other choice but to glow from the inside out. When you take good care of yourself, it shows. And to our opposite, and to our spouses of the opposite sex, or our spouses of the same sex, depending on who you are, they liked us a certain way when they first met us. And we get comfortable, we sit back, and we lose ourselves in relationships. How many times have you heard, go ahead and put in the comment section below if you can relate to this. How many times have you heard yourself say the following thing that I'm about to say, or you've heard one of your girlfriends or somebody that you know say this? I lost myself in the relationship. I lost myself in the marriage. It happens to all of us. So what I'm suggesting to you is, if you lost yourself, go find yourself again. Get reconnected to who you are. Get reconnected to your femininity. And if that means that you have to eat cleaner, if that means you have to get better sleep, if that means that you have to schedule every 2 weeks a mani and pedi, if you can afford it, of course, or do them at home if you have the supplies, please take care of yourself. Get yourself to that place where you're looking good, where you're feeling good. You don't have to be in the same size that you were 30 years ago when you first met. A lot of times that's impossible to do. However, if you set a standard for yourself of, you know what, I'm gonna just start taking care of myself, I'm gonna get healthy, I'm gonna go back to the gym, and you do it for you, he is going to respond to that. Here's why. He's gonna respond to that because number one, you're looking good, and he's not gonna want any other guy to look at you or snatch you up. Number two, he's gonna think to himself, now that she's looking good, she's gonna go out with her girlfriends more often. And I'm not really that into that. All of a sudden, you revived his hunt. All of a sudden, his chase comes back because he's like, wait a minute. My wife, girlfriend, fiance is now looking like a snack, hanging out, having martinis or glasses of wine with the girls. And where am I? At home with a big belly and a big double chin, looking haggard. He's gonna want to raise his game. So when you start taking care of yourself and keep yourself looking good, all of a sudden he raises his game and he's gonna start to chase you. Maybe he'll get a little bit possessive, maybe he'll get a little bit jealous, but you know what? A little bit of jealousy and a little bit of possessiveness never hurt nobody, girl. All right, let's go on to the next step. Step number 3, in order to keep your man chasing you, is an old saying that I got from a previous professor of mine. And this professor of mine said this, and it really resonated with me and it stuck with me. And he said, in order to be interesting to others, you must be interested in others. In order to be interesting to others, you must be interested in others. So step number 3 is be interesting. And what I mean by interesting is be interested. When you're out to dinner, when you're at an outing, when you're holding hands and walking, pay attention to your husband. Ask him questions. Be interested in what he's got going on in his life. Ask him, how is it going at that new tennis thing that you're doing? Or how do you like your new position at the company that you're at? Or honey, I saw that you started to get supplies to organize the garage. What made you do that? Ask him questions, talk to him. We don't talk to our spouses. That's why we disconnect. That's why the disconnect happens, because we get into the rut of the daily living. I know, I'm doing it too. We're too tired, we're exhausted, we're mentally drained, we're frustrated from somebody at work or a situation at work, or the kids are driving us crazy, or the dog and the kids and the mortgage and everything is driving us crazy. Maybe we're hormonal, maybe we're going through menopause. Look, the list that a woman has to deal with on a daily basis is astronomical, and I'm acknowledging that. But this step, I'm telling you, it works. Be interesting. By number one, being interested in your husband and what he's up to, into your partner and what they're up to. Number two, and this is a little second piece for this tip. In order to be interesting, you must have hobbies, interests outside of the relationship and interests outside of your husband. When you start to develop interests outside of your home, all of a sudden it raises a red flag to hubby. All of a sudden he's like, whoa, she's at this pottery class a little bit too often now. Or she's at the homeless shelter with the ladies from the church all the time, and she's not paying attention to me, and she's not paying attention to the kids, and she's not paying attention to the dog. She's working on herself. When your man sees you working on yourself, when your man sees you exploring interests outside of the marriage, and I'm not talking about another man, okay? That kind of interest is not what I'm saying, right? Don't go out and get yourself a little side piece, okay? That's not what we're talking about. In order to be interesting, you must have interests outside of the marriage. And when you start to explore those interests, something that's gonna fill your cup, something that's gonna make you a better person, something that's gonna teach you something that is going to contribute to the world, whether it's feeding the homeless, whether it's doing charity work. The moment you start putting outside interests into your own life, your husband and or partner starts to look at you differently. There's something about you being you outside in the world that all of a sudden rejuvenates their interest towards you. That's what's going to keep him chasing you, because he's going to think to himself, man, not only are we connecting more, not only are we having good sex, not only is she really present with me and really connected to me, but now she's gonna take all of those goodies and be out there into the world, giving that wonderfulness to somebody else or to other people. I don't wanna share her. A little bit of jealousy and possessiveness goes a long way, ladies. Let him chase you. Let him hunt you. Don't take away your man's hunt by sitting at home with no extra interest outside of the home or outside of the marriage. And then when he asks you, what do you want to do? You say, I don't know. What do you want to do? Oh my God. Don't do that to your husband. Give him something to chase you. Give him something to hunt. Step number 3, be interesting. And keep it moving, girl. Let's go on to the next tip.
Woke up this morning and I was feeling so good. Made a change for the better thing. Never knew I would. Got a smile on my face. Can they see me now?